It is Friday, November 29th, and you are listening to the Video Gabe Cast, Episode 1. I am your host, Gabriel Hazim, a.k.a. Titmouse, and here is my host, McChubbers.
Hey, everyone.
So, this week Thanksgiving happened.
It did?
There's a life outside of video games that involves eating.
I was actually stuck at home sick.
Oh!
Yeah, that happened.
That's very un-American of you.
I know, I'm sorry, everybody. I guess I'm a terrorist.
You're going to Canada now. We're putting you in a box. So, but it's okay. You'll get free health care, so you'll probably need it when you.
Fair enough, yeah. You know, I'm probably with Ebola right now, so.
What's going on? Would you like some kind of?
I think it's just a common cold. I got a cough, runny nose.
I hate the phrase common cold because everyone's like, it's just a common cold, and they look like they're ready to just end it. Like,
oh, it was bad. I ended up having to sleep on the couch, sitting up, 2 nights in a row. Because, like, if I laid down, I'd just cough myself awake.
Yeah.
One night, when I was trying to fall asleep on my back, I was literally, like, choking because I couldn't get airflow, and then I'd wake up coughing.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, it's bad when you get all that shit in your lungs. All the mucus and crap.
Yep.
Which is gross. Anyway, moving on to...
Getting back on point here.
Yes. I am... Along with McChubbers, I have a Dead Guy Ale from Oregon Brewed Rogue Company. I'm assuming your sick ass is not perpetuating the problem with alcohol.
I am not at the moment, though I should be drinking some water. I am too lazy to walk that 6 feet.
Yeah, I usually, everyone says, I don't drink when I'm sick, but I'm like, I do against my good judgment. Like, I hurt, make the symptoms worse. So, what have we been playing this week?
I have been playing Assassin's Creed 2. Because I need to get caught up. I'm bad.
Yeah,
and
like 15
actually,
games ahead of you.
So Assassin's Creed 2, Final Fantasy 9. I wanted to revisit some of that, and PlanetSide 2 actually.
Nice. Just reaching. You're reaching way back in your catalog this week.
Yeah. Gotta broaden my horizons back up.
Well, I got some good news for you.
What's that?
Final Fantasy VII is on sale on Steam.
I have it on my computer, or not my computer, my PS3 though. I downloaded it during the 20th anniversary sale, 25th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 50% off all the Final Fantasy titles. Wow. I had my way with my wallet.
Yeah, that's kind of been happening to me today with the Steam sale. It's been killing me. I think I've bought like 5 games in the last week, which I'll get to eventually. So yeah, is that tell me about Assassin's Creed 2? We will explain the games of yesteryear.
Oh, it was pretty bad. I haven't played it in, I don't know, at least a good year. And so I popped it in because when I guess to start off, when I bought my video card yesterday or last night, because of the Black Friday deals, I got a free Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed 5.
Oh.
So I was
you
like,
must got a hell of a video card. What'd you get?
It was just a 660 GTX.
Okay.
Nothing too amazing. I just need to beef up my system a little bit from the 280. 285, 280 GTX. Yeah, I was a little old.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got that, and I realized to myself that hey, I have like all the other Assassin's Creeds, and I should probably play them. So I popped in Assassin's Creed 2, and yeah, I'm really bad. And I found out that Ezio really likes to swim. Like, he really loves the water.
Is it like Orbit, where you just find yourself constantly...
So, Where I started off was, I guess when I last played, I started off in this challenge area to try and unlock part of the. You get his endgame armor, and you go to this area, these different areas to get these different emblems. And I guess I left off at the beginning of one of the areas to get this emblem to unlock this armor. And those particular areas, if I remember correctly, they were generally speaking like not hard, but not the easiest thing in the world. Well, it's definitely not easy when you don't know what the hell you're doing. And so I'm trying to go through this obstacle course, and it's surrounded by water. So if you miss your landing, which though to some people it would be hard to do, but apparently not for me. When you just blatantly miss this landing, you have to swim all the way back. And Ezio likes his water.
It should be like a lot of other games where you fall in and then it just like shows you getting out 100 feet away or whatever, wherever land is.
Yeah.
Instead of having to do all that.
Yeah, it was pretty annoying because I jump out, land in the water, have to swim all the way back, press this crank that does a small little video of the things that change in the area, and every single time that I have to go back, I'd have to press this crank. It was just time consuming.
Yeah.
But it got done.
That seems like a game that would front load the tutorials heavily, so if you leave the game and come back and you don't remember all that help was in the beginning of the game.
Well, I mean, the controls are pretty intuitive, so I wasn't I didn't have too big of a hump to go over. So it was fine. I got back to killing people soon enough.
Yeah, I think I'm doing Steam wrong because I don't play games I buy.
I think you're doing perfectly fine. I wanted to get my Steam level up, so I deliberately bought a bunch of really low-costing games, and I'm at 290 right now.
Wow, I thought I was bad.
Oh,
Holy
I'm pretty bad.
Shit.
I don't touch very many of them too.
I'm over 100. I could tell you that. I have. Let's see what Assassin's Creed games I have. I thought I had two.
Well, I had sorted all of my games, but that was like 20 games ago.
yeah, I've been there. Oh yeah, I do have Assassin's Creed 2. I'm looking. And I have Brotherhood, and I touched Brotherhood. I played it for like half an hour. And said okay, and that was it.
Well, I'd recommend taking another look at it. It's pretty good.
Whenever someone says that to me, I have this stack of games in my head, and then I kind of, a little bit of me, I kind of have a mild panic attack. I'm like, oh god, another. It's like that butterfly that lands on top of the pile, and then everything comes crashing down.
Yup, that extra little pressure.
Oh god, games, too many games. First world problems.
Totally agree. What about yourself? What have you been playing?
Oh God, what haven't I been playing? What I be playing? Ebonics apparently flowing from me naturally without even knowing it. I just about an hour and a half before this podcast bought It's Volgar the Barbarian, but I don't know if it's supposed to be pronounced Volgar the Barbarian because Volgar sounds like a barbarian name and Volgar does not. That game is fucking hard. It's like a 2D game. Looks like any other like Sega Genesis game. You're a barbarian, and so it kind of has the. You ever played Columns? I
have not.
Well, it's got the pointy text that you see in a lot of these caveman games, for as many of them as there are. And enemies just seem to spawn a lot. Like in Nintendo games, what was real common is you would leave, you'd keep, the map would keep scrolling, and if you were to backtrack, all the enemies would be back. This is a little different. They just keep crawling up from the underneath the screen. They're obvious about them throwing enemies at you. So they're coming up from behind you and in front of you, and the only way you just have to keep moving because they don't ever stop.
Yeah.
So it's kind of annoying. And it's just brutally hard. You get jewels, and like it's a form of currency, coins and jewels and necklaces and stuff, and each item is worth, a necklace is going to be worth a lot more than just a normal diamond, but I still don't know what all that crap is for, because I can't seem to get very far.
I'm watching the Steam videos right now, and for some reason, it's just reminding me of a 2D scroller Brutal Legends. Not as comedic, obviously, but just like
a 2D version of Brutal Legend, that Jack Black game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another game I got and haven't played.
That one's pretty good.
I've seen gameplay. It's got Black Sabbath and real music in it, so.
Yeah. Damn, this
it looks good,
older
doesn't it?
game looks. It looks good, but it looks just ridiculous.
It's fucking hard.
It also reminds me of the original Mega Man games, the ones that are just obnoxious.
Yeah, I felt like I was playing Nintendo again because I was like clenching my controller, like or just like seething. It's like I like it a lot, but I don't know how long I can put up with it.
Yeah, it feels like a Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, and the difference between Super Meat Boy and this game is the jumping and all the controls in Super Meat Boy are really intuitive. So if you mess up, it's basically on you. The jumping in this game is not good.
Okay,
it's
that's unfortunate.
There's like this part where there's a short wall, and then a little bit beyond that, there's short wall and then spike pit, and then a taller wall on the other side of that spike pit. So you have to jump on top of the wall, and there's no like floaty movement in the air that you can do. Because this wall is in front of you, you can't just curve your jump over this wall. You have to hit the double jump and then start the forward movement, and it most of the time will land you in the spikes, and you only get like a few hits, and it's back to the beginning.
That's unfortunate. Like, is there a running life total that you have, or is it just one hit and you're gone?
I don't know. Like sometimes I'll die from getting hit twice, but I think I accumulated pickups on certain lives, and that gave me more hits.
Seems like something that the developers should have told you in some tutorial or something.
Yeah, right. Even though I always complain when I get a tutorial. Like, I don't need this shit, and I skip it, and then 5 minutes later, I'm like, how the fuck do you play this?
Sounds like any, sci-fi game ever.
Yes. I heard bad things about Assassin's Creed 3 with the tutorializing in that game.
I wouldn't be surprised. One of those situations where it's like, predecessors explained it all. We don't need to go into anything. If I remember correctly, it was something about the tomahawk. Tomahawk being awkward. I don't know. I'll get there eventually. I'll have to share it with everybody.
One word, old and gray.
When I get to it.
If you're anything like me, hopefully you're not. It'll be a while. I just keep piling games on top of the old ones.
Yeah, I still need to play Skyrim.
I have Skyrim, and I played it a decent amount, and I never got into it.
Did you play Skyrim, or did you play Mountain Climber? Because I played Mountain Climber.
What is Mountain Climber?
Mountain Climber is when you start the game, you get through the intro area, and you go, I could go to this town, but there's a big-ass mountain over there.
Yeah.
And you spend the entire time getting to the peak. And then once you get to the peak, you find that nothing's there.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I take that back. Once. Just once. I got to a peak, and I got to the very highest point, and I didn't find anything, but I went a little further down, and I actually found this pickaxe, this enchanted pickaxe, and some rare ore, and I was proud of myself.
At least that hike was not for nothing.
Right.
Did you have a horse so you could just vertically jump?
I did not.
Oh, you did it the hard way.
I didn't know about that at the time.
Defying physics with horses.
I took the hard way, and I I slid diagonally up curve. It was bad.
You're always afraid you're gonna like break something and like have to reset the whole game.
Yup.
I'm just gonna no clip through this mountain. Uh-oh. Game won't work no more.
Right, that's the reason why I stopped playing the game. There was a situation where I defeated a boss, and I don't know what ended up happening, but the object that I guess dropped off of him, no, it was either him or the object that dropped off of him, like fell through the world.
Uh-oh.
And so I was trying to use the console commands to respawn like him, and it just so I just gave up.
Yeah. That stuff can happen in what's the company? Bethesda's games. Yeah. They're pretty janky.
I love how in Morrowind, the original, I guess, 3D Elder Scrolls game. I don't know. I never touched Daggerfall. In Morrowind, though, if their solution to killing characters was just if you killed a quest character, you could continue on your game. You just couldn't continue necessarily.
Allowing you to do game-breaking things just whenever you like.
Yeah, I mean, if you killed the ruler of Vivek, which was a really big town, sorry, not town. It's a giant ass city. If you killed him, then you could still continue playing, but you just couldn't continue on the quest. Like it ended.
That would be shitty.
I guess, but I don't know. A lot of the I never really got fully into that one. That one I actually watched a lot of other people play, and it was really entertaining to watch. But I mean, you could still do all the side quests, and side quests are everything in Oblivion and Skyrim. So
I played a decent amount of Skyrim, but it never really grabbed me. Now Fallout 3, on the other hand, I was addicted. Like you can't believe, but maybe it's the combat in Skyrim that does not appeal to me. I don't know.
I see that. I don't know. I never got into Fallout 3 or New Vegas. I owned New Vegas and I played it once for a minute. I killed some praying mantis cockroach thing, and that was pretty much it for me.
My gripe
did something else.
My gripe with New Vegas is it felt like work. Every quest that you went on was like, I need you to go over here and do this, and then it's like, okay, and then you get to that guy, he's like, no, you need to collect 3 items for me, and it's like, no, because every quest was like 5 steps, and I'm like, God, just like, I'll run to the marker on the map and click on the guy and give you my XP.
I gotcha.
And shoot things on the way. That's all I want. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Fallout, not into Skyrim, and I played it. I just wanted to like it and couldn't. But speaking of Volgar the Viking, I played Rogue Legacy as well, which I feel is the superior Volgar the Barbarian. Because
Rogue Legacy.
So good. A couple weeks ago, I spent most of the weekend just playing that. and at the end of that weekend, I was like, I gotta work tomorrow. I want to keep playing.
Rogue Legacy is a genocidal roguelite where anyone can
Genocidal.
Yeah, it looks like it. One of the attributes your character can get is flatulent and blind.
Oh yeah, when the flatulence is every time you jump, it's like.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything, but makes you fart.
Hey, that's something.
The worst one is I don't remember the name of this thing, but everything's upside down.
Nice.
They just flip the screen upside down, and every time I get that, I'm like, "Fah!" and I just jump into spikes, so I don't have to deal with it.
Fair enough.
It's because
this game looks really good.
It's a lot like Castlevania crossed with Ghosts and Goblins, but you have you have like a skill tree that's really addicting. It's just like, and the key is, so you get all this gold, and if you die, you go back and you go to the skill tree, and you have to, if you don't spend your gold, you have to give up the majority of it anyway when you enter the temple, because death will take your gold away. So you do this weird thing where you're like, what is the most expensive thing I could buy? Or you do the math of, if I do these 2 items, it will come close to using up all my gold. Because you want to get rid of
it for later.
Yeah, well, you can't, because they'll take it from you.
That's cheesy. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but there is a thing on the skill tree where you can you dump points into it so that death takes less of your gold every time.
I gotcha.
So, but that's pretty expensive, and I'm fucking awful at the game, so...
All in good time.
That's the problem! I just keep sinking so many hours into the game. We gotta level this up.
It's unfortunate. It's only a single-player game. I could see that, though, since the entire environment changes per person.
Mm-hmm. I would like to do co-op on it if I could, but...
Yeah, it seems like something that would be really interesting. Like your screen is changed for your particular character, but the other character obviously can't see your stuff. So if you're upside down, as you were saying, the other screen wouldn't be. They'd have their own thing. But, oh man, that could be interesting.
I wonder if they're just saving that for the sequel whenever that happens to happen.
That could be. If they continue on with the game. I'll definitely have to check this one out, though.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's fantastic.
Sale. Oh,
yeah.
Man. $7.49.
Yeah, I think that's what I got it for on Humble, the Humble Bundle website. It wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't in a Humble Bundle, but it was. They have a.
God, Humble Bundle is amazing.
I know. I have a bad story about Humble Bundle.
Oh no.
I bought Android games. Guess what I got?
Not Android games?
But I have an iPhone.
Oh no!
So, yeah. I was like, can I have my money back? And they didn't ever respond. So I was like, I'm not fighting over $5.
Well, don't those Android games you get Steam keys for too?
These games are not on Steam.
Oh, okay.
These are phone games. So, yeah. I did not read before I said bye.
Ah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like the person that throws away money, but there's only so much work I'm willing to do to get back $5.
Yeah,
I'm like, forget
it. My cap is usually around $10. $10 is just, I mean, $10 can be quite a few meals, but not for like 3 hours worth of work.
I bought a shirt for in between $10 and $15, and it's like a long sleeve. You know, it's a good shirt for winter, and got home, put it on, and realized this is a 3X. So it is now an indoor shirt because I'm not going back to fucking Walmart. So there you go.
Good old sleeping shirts.
Yeah. What else have I playing? Shadow Warrior. That game is awesome. It's by it's by a company named Flying Wild Hog, and they are former People Can Fly employees. Both People Can Fly and Flying Wild Hog are companies that make run and guns, like really good run and guns that work in today's gaming marketplace. They really specialize in awesome like particle effects.
Yeah.
So like when fireworks are exploding, you'll have the ones that will just shoot off and spin randomly, but they do it like dynamically so it doesn't look canned. Yeah, it's pretty incredible, and you can like pin enemies. Every game that I played that these people have made, there's some gun that sticks enemies to the wall, and it's pretty entertaining.
That seems pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody likes some hocus pocus on the wall.
Well, it's great when they're on an angle, like if they're uphill and you hit them, and when they stick to the wall, they're like 4 feet up off the wall, and they're dangling, and it's pretty fucking awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, in this game you get a sword, and that's potentially the best weapon in the game. You have all these special attacks, like one of them is like a shield, so you hold your left hand out and it dampens most of the damage. There's another one where you like swing your sword from the left to the right, and it puts a wave out in front of you, and it hits a whole bunch of dudes. There's a bunch of attacks like that. The only gripe I have is it involves pressing, like, if you're using a keyboard and a mouse, it's like, it's a button combination. So it's like SS attack, and while you're trying to rattle off these button combinations, it kind of reminds me of playing, like, WCW versus Nitro on the N64 with those long combos you typed in to do your special move.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, not
there's
that bad.
What? Mortal Kombat Deadly Assassins?
Deadly Alliance.
Deadly Alliance, there we go. I remember watching one of my friends play that, and he was trying to do some mode where you gotta do the correct button combinations on the characters, and they were ridiculous. Just trying to, like, conceive of being able to do it. And then for some reason, like, it felt like there was a slight pause in between each button press too.
Yes.
And that's so annoying.
You had to wait for your strike to follow all the way through before you could land it. So you had to time each button press on top of memorizing this horrible 10-hit combo.
Oh, man.
There's a lot that I liked about those PS2 and Xbox games, but the clunkiness really hurt them to the point where you wouldn't even really want to play them if you weren't a Mortal Kombat fanatic like I was.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really into fighting games, then I can see that. Like, I have a friend who just loves Street Fighter. Now the PS3 Street Fighter is, what, $10 or so? But he definitely wanted it when it came out. He was just that into it. If you're one of those kinds of people, I could see that finesse could be cool, but if I want to play a fighting game for myself, I just play Brawl or Melee. I'm just not that kind of guy.
I think the problem that those PS2, Xbox, Mortal Kombat games had is you had to deliberately memorize the combos, and there was no doing it on accident.
Yeah.
So, like, Tekken, you can be okay just kind of fucking around and learning combos as you go. There's none of that in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, good old Tekken.
Tekken's pretty good. Oh, I have and I barely touched it, what was it, Tekken Tag 2 for PS3?
Oh, nice.
That game is really good. And I don't like most of the modern Tekken games.
You can see that.
I played it like once or twice. I was like, this game's awesome! And then, guess what happened? Didn't play it again. So, so anyway, Shadow Warrior, really, really good. Gears of War Judgment, played about an hour of that. It's kind of ironic because I was talking about Shadow Warrior. It is People Can Fly game, which is it's same company that did like Painkiller and But yeah, it is a very colorful Gears of War game. So they've been getting away from the gray. I feel like if you were to look at a montage of Gears 1 through Judgment, so 1, 2, 3, and then Judgment, they add color a little bit each game, and this one is the most colorful of them all.
Nice.
The first one might as well be black and white.
I never actually touched a Gears of War game. That was one of the main titles, or the big AAA titles that just completely eluded me. Mainly because I'm a Sony fan, so Microsoft's Xbox just kind of stepped out of the way. And I never got around to playing it with anybody. I did, however, hear that there are waist-high walls everywhere.
Yep.
It's kind of weird.
It is. But if we're gonna start dismantling video games by those kinds of standards, we could write an encyclopedia.
I heard that it was a little obnoxious.
It is, and it not only that, but most of the level design in the single player kind of makes everything feel like a warehouse, and it makes it just kind of a boring atmosphere.
I gotcha.
But this game's pretty good for the little bit I've played. They've done this thing where there's a big skull on the wall, and you go up and click on it, and it will do. It'll do like a mutator, like it'll change the enemy weapons, or certain, like, the crawlers will now be exploding crawlers and stuff like that. So, or it'll give you a challenge where it's like only use these weapons. So it causes you to play Gears a little differently instead of just playing it safe and staying back and using your rifle.
I gotcha.
So it kind of shakes things up a bit. For being the fourth Gears game, and a Gears game that nobody wanted, and a different developer, it's actually not bad. I'm actually really enjoying it. No Horde mode, though, which was their like wave-based elimination thing. So
kind of like Call of Duty Black Ops' zombie mode.
Yeah, or what was that one on Modern Warfare 3? Damn it.
Remember.
But it's more like that.
Sure.
Because zombies are more stationary.
Well, have you gotten into some of the higher levels? My lord.
No. The problem with zombies is you need good people, and going with randoms online is just such a bad way to play zombies.
It's true. You need really good communication, and you have to also know what's coming up, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it gets so hard.
Well, since we're talking about Call of Duty, I played a little bit of Call of Duty Ghosts, I think, last week. I'm reaching back, I'm cheating. But that game is all right. The multiplayer is kind of fucked up and kind of not worth it, but I just played Extinction mostly, and that's pretty cool. Which is, it's like their version of zombies, but there's aliens instead, and there's a lot more running around outside. You're not inside a house barricading and stuff like that.
I gotcha.
So it's a good change. My brother was telling me that there's the equivalent of whatever we were talking about earlier, that thing we couldn't remember.
What is that?
I don't know, and it's driving
Google,
me.
ho!
I'm doing the same thing.
Oh, we'll find it. We'll find it. Well, in the meantime, Gears of War, good, bad?
It's
overall?
good. I like Gears of
Overall?
War. If I'm just going to go down the list, Gears of War is good. It's not bad. Like a lot of people were worried about different developer and everything. Call of Duty Ghosts is all right. I paid $48 instead of $60 when I first bought it. It's real laggy on the PC, and apparently it's not great anywhere else when it comes to that network stuff, and it's just not optimized well. My PC should be able to play it no problem, and I have to tinker the settings.
Gotcha.
It's kind of fucked up. So yeah, it's all right. Shadow Warrior, fantastic. Rogue Legacy, fantastic. Volgar the Barbarian. You have to be patient. If you are patient and you like hard fucking games, you're gonna love it. And I finished The Walking Dead this week.
Finished Walking Dead?
I finished The Walking Dead, the game.
Nice.
I blew through most of the game. It was like I hadn't touched the game in forever, and I was, I think, midway through episode 2, and I blew through that in like a week or something like that, and it was really good. There were moments in that game that just made me sick in the best way possible.
I bet. Seems pretty good.
Did you beat it?
I haven't even touched it. I need to.
It's on sale, I think.
Oh, is it?
It was last time I checked, but maybe the Pandora's box is closed.
I think it has. I'm looking at the Steam sales now, and unless I'm blind.
It's Walking Dead Season 1 is what you're looking for. Yeah, The Walking Dead is $12.50 instead of $25. So, and that'll give you all 5 episodes. And Season 2 is coming very soon. I don't think I'm going to jump on that right away because considering I just finished Season 1, I need a break.
Fair enough.
And not like I'm hurting for games, my word. So yeah, I hope to play more Gears, and I keep wanting to go right back to Rogue Legacy. I got all these new games, and I'm still addicted to Rogue Legacy. That's how good it is.
I'm definitely gonna have to try that within the next couple days. Right now, however, I'm staring at a $10 BioShock Infinite.
You know, I played a little bit of BioShock Infinite, and I just kind of backed off of it. Everyone loved it, not me, apparently.
I don't know. I've heard nothing but good things from it, and I haven't played. Man, I feel like a bad gamer right now. I haven't played any of the other BioShocks as well, and I've been told that it has nothing to do with it. It just adds to the whole feel of BioShock. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the art style, and just this one has a pretty cool concept though. I mean, the whole future back and forth. I just don't know. I will say, speaking of art style, what's the word? Like the city that they constructed in that game in the clouds is pretty damn mind blowing. Yeah. The trailer that I'm watching is pretty good, and it's kind of swaying me to click this add to cart button.
Yeah, I mean, $10, why not?
$40 game for $10.
Yeah.
That is at least a masterpiece. Yeah.
I'm just really critical with certain shooters, because I don't know what it is, but some games I'm just like, meh. Even though they look amazing the moment the gameplay kicks in, I go, okay.
Getting a little swayed there.
I played the first game, so maybe that's it, and I play a lot of shooters. So, but people love BioShock Infinite, and I'm impatient. I did not. I came upon the game without putting down any money, to be really vague. So, if I had paid for it, I probably would have said, I bought this, I'm going to play more. But because I didn't pay,
because it wasn't your money, you're just like, yeah.
It may have not been any money, without going into any details.
Fair enough.
But yeah, do you play anything else this week?
Planet 2. I decided to look back into League of Legends because I had stopped in the middle of Season 3, and I wanted to see some stuff in the Season 4. If anybody's actually interested in League of Legends, they do have quite a few changes that are pretty interesting.
That's an MMO, isn't it?
It's not an MMO. It's a Dota.
Oh, right.
It's the 3-lane kind of mash 'em up 5v5. Couple cool things going on in it though. One is that there's now more incentive to play the support role, which is a role that doesn't do any damage and more or less just gives your team vision. They added some abilities to get that character more gold, which allows them to faster progress their item builds that help the team as a whole. Right now they're also testing out a game mode where you can use a single team can have 5 of the same character, which isn't normal. Usually only one, if you're playing a particular game mode type, then only one person on a team can be that character, but you can have 2 in the game if the other team has that character. So, in this particular game mode, everyone can be the same character, and it gets really hilarious. Mm-hmm. There's a character called Alistair, which is pretty much a cow minotaur, and his goal is to headbutt and then pop up people. And when you have 10 Alistairs in the same area doing the same thing, everyone's going everywhere, and it's hilarious.
Reminds me of the Ents from Lord of the Rings with trees throwing dudes and stuff.
Yeah, think of that, but you're the one that's doing it.
That'd be pretty fun. Anytime I get to throw people up into the air.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'd recommend you trying it just for that.
I don't think I've played any of the Dotas.
I've played a couple of them. It's unfortunate that there's a couple different things that I find unfortunate about League of Legends being the most predominant one. Mainly Riot's relations with their customers aren't exactly the greatest in the world. But overall, League of Legends is by far the best made, which is nice. Though if they continue adding characters like they have been, it won't be for long.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't Dota like that one's pretty big, isn't it?
Dota was the original one, Defense of the Ancients,
Yeah.
and then they recently, or not just recently, it's been out for quite some time, though the beta lasted forever, and everyone got a key. The beta for Dota 2 came out, and that got really big. And you actually, I don't know what exactly you can buy, but I know there is an influx of items that are related to Dota 2 on the Steam shop community market, and some of them go for like $100. And I'm thinking, what is going on here?
Video games, the money that people sink into video games for in-game items is usually pretty unbelievable. Like, what's that new space game that like people are throwing like tons of money into? It's not even out yet, but like people are buying items in the game and it's not even ready yet.
I don't know. I haven't heard of this.
They were talking about it on the Giant Bombcast, but
I gotcha.
Anyway.
I do know, however, that Diablo 3 actually, they either did or plan to, I haven't touched it in about a month, they either did or plan to get rid of the auction house, the live money auction house, to solidify the game a little bit more for the casual player.
Well, I can't remember the details of why people didn't like the auction house, but it just didn't pan out the way they thought. It forced people to really play for those rare drops. And I never played Diablo 3, but the auction house did not help that game at all. And everyone that played the console version said this is the ideal version.
I find it funny that you said that because I know a couple of my friends who actually made all of their money back buying the game by that real money auction house. So,
that's funny.
I never got the chance to. I made a lot of in-game gold though.
You know, I was really psyched for Diablo 3, and then by the time it came out, the interest fizzled out, and then my interest in dungeon crawlers fizzled out altogether, because I said, okay, I think I've played enough of these things. Because I got really into Path of Exile, which is a fantastic free-to-play.
Yes, Path of Exile was really good. I highly enjoyed it for being free-to-play. It reminded me of like a Diablo 2 / Guild Wars.
Yeah.
It was really, really well done.
And that skill tree! Oh my god!
Oh, Lord, that skill tree.
I looked at it and I was like, oh man, this is gonna take so long.
I had that same feeling too, but then I started looking at it and planning out my skills, and it was actually really fun to do that.
Mm-hmm. I just eventually hit a wall at some point and then never touched it again. So I don't know. I loved dungeon crawlers for a long time, but I think I'm unfortunate unless they really turn them on on their head. I think I'm mostly done with them.
Yeah, I want to get through the Dungeon Siege series, and then go from there.
I had a Dungeon Siege game way back on the PSP, and that was actually really good. but back when I had a PSP. So why don't we move on to the what we're watching section? Have you watched anything on a box this week?
Well, I'm one episode behind on Walking Dead, but
Me too.
That's about a given. Let's see. I got my girlfriend to start watching Arrested Development, and she loves it.
I haven't ever seen Arrested Development, but there's an actor that who's that dude from Hellboy?
Oh.
Not Ron Perlman. The old guy.
Yeah, I know.
He was
what
also
you're
in
talking
The
about.
Grinch. Oh, well.
I am just doing horrible with names today.
Yeah. Oh well. But yeah, I really, I'm not even gonna, maybe I will when I'm talking. But yeah, I like him a lot, but no, I've never seen Arrested Development.
I would recommend checking it out. It's funny. It's a lot of the humor is pretty dry, but that's what really gets it going. It's really thought out ahead. So everything is pretty much foreshadowed humor-wise. So yeah, just think of dry methodical humor that will make you think as well.
Okay. Well, I'll put it on my list.
You should definitely do that. Have you seen Green Arrow too, by the way?
Isn't that a movie?
No, Green Arrow is the... maybe it's not Green Arrow. No, it's
Arrow?
just called Arrow. Sorry.
I haven't seen Arrow, but they've talked... I listened to the Cheap Ass Gamer podcast, the CADcast, and they talk a lot about that show on there. And I should watch it.
You should watch that too?
See, the thing is that I kind of have to say no, because I start stacking up all these shows in my head. And then
just get through them a little bit at a time.
I watched Breaking Bad all the way through, and now there's a big hole in me, because Breaking Bad makes all TV shows just look like nothing. Breaking Bad is the best TV show ever.
I've watched all of it that's on Netflix. I'm waiting for the last season. All hail the Netflix.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll show up sooner or later. Season 4, though, man, that was incredible.
It was.
That I'm not going to say anything for the people that, I don't want to spoil it, but that retirement center thing, holy crap.
Yeah, that was definitely a scene.
I screamed at my TV. I think I screamed at my TV a few times, and I don't do that. The holy shit's run over with Breaking Bad.
Fair enough.
You watch anything else?
No, nothing of any worth. Just Futurama to fill the day.
I need to get caught up. Futurama.
Yeah, I've watched all of it. I don't know. It's a great filler.
I've seen bits and I've seen a few of the new episodes, but most of what I've seen was the old stuff before they brought back Futurama.
Yeah.
It's hard to get back into a show when they make it go away for that long.
It's true. Definitely feel you there.
Well, what have I watched? I saw a Nicolas Cage movie on Netflix called Seeking Justice. It's really good. And I did not think I could say Nicolas Cage and really good in the same sentence as of recent movies. It's about I'm just gonna jump right into it. Very beginning of the movie, his wife gets raped, and this dude says, "Hey, I represent a group of people, and we can get this guy back for you, but we might need your help every now and again." Very mafia kind of mentality.
Sure.
So he agrees to it, but he ends up just roped into this big, shitty disaster. And it's...
No.
Oh, I was like sweating when I was watching this movie. I was like, oh.
Did it have a good twist like Matchstick Men. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've seen movies with good twists.
Fair enough. Matchstick Men was one of Nicolas Cage's, I think, one of his best movies, where he played a con man who actually gets conned in return. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't watched it, but if you actually want to see Nicolas Cage do good acting, I would definitely recommend Matchstick Men.
Okay. I'll put that on my list because I want to believe in Nicolas Cage, and I've seen a few good movies that he's done, but
Believe in the heart of Nicolas Cage.
Huh?
Believe in the heart of Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, well, I think his new movies are a lot crappier than he is. Ghost Rider.
Oh God.
Anyway, but yeah, no, I don't think it has a real big twist, but it's just really tense the whole way through. So it's a lot of him just barely getting away all the time.
So the opposite of Taken.
Yeah. Well,
where he just steamrolls everyone.
Yeah. Well, the problem with Taken was Man on Fire already existed. We didn't need it again. And it was a better movie by a mile.
We didn't need it, but
it was okay.
Good nonetheless.
It was okay. Yeah, it was alright.
I loved it.
It would be great if Man on Fire didn't exist. It would be amazing in a world where there wasn't this other movie that was better. I like the fight choreography a lot in that movie. Never saw Taken 2 though. Didn't hear good things about it.
It's pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, they were asking him if he wanted to do a Taken 3, and
oh God.
Yeah. Again, names. I'm just not here. Liam Neeson. There we go. Yeah. Liam Neeson. He responded to that by going, if my daughter got captured for the third time, I'd just be a bad parent.
I knew you were going right when you started that sentence. I was like, uh-oh. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had the right of it.
Yeah, for real. I watched a lot of movies lately. I'm not going to talk about all of them in length, but I'm just going to go through the movies I've seen recently. Gravity, saw that a few weeks back, or whatever, a month back. Don't know what the big deal is. I don't get it.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
If you've seen a space movie, you've seen Gravity. And they keep...
Fair enough.
There's these fucking space movies. They keep coming out, and everyone's like, it's the best thing ever. And then I watch it, and I'm like, I saw Apollo 13 over a decade ago. We don't need it 15 more times. Okay? It was a beautiful movie, though.
You don't know. You need 13 Apollo 13s.
Apollo 13 times 2. That'll be the next one. Now, after they made 13 movies that are just like it. They go into space and everything falls apart and they're like, we gotta get back. And then they probably get back. And then it ends. Now, I think a good space movie that people should watch rather than Gravity is Sunshine. That movie is great. It's got Cillian Murphy and all these excellent actors that don't get their due. But anyway, Sunshine's great. What else did I see? What was that new Hugh Jackman movie? Prisoners. I saw that last week. It's okay. It's consistently well done all the way through, but there's no bip in the line. It's pretty much flat line all the way through. Yeah, it's just good all the way through, and then the movie ends.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so it doesn't really ever... There's not a whole lot in that movie that makes me roll my eyes or say, oh my god, that was horrible, but... it doesn't have a very satisfying ending, so... And people are like, oh, it's amazing! And I'm like... It was alright. The story is his kids get kidnapped and he's trying to find out who did it. And when you find out, it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting, but there's never a point where the movie makes you go, whoa, I didn't expect that. But it's so well done, it's hard to say it's a really bad movie. All the acting and presentation and music, everything's well done, so...
It's there, it's just not there.
No, the narrative does not surprise you. And narrative is storytelling is the biggest thing for me in movies, unless you compensate heavily everywhere else. So I saw that a long time ago. I saw Star Trek Into Darkness, which was enjoyable. I
super liked the Star Trek movies. I thought they were really good renditions of the old ones.
I enjoyed how they did callbacks to the old, what was it, Wrath of Khan. I like, what's his name, Edwin Cumberbatch? Whatever his name is?
Yeah.
I can't pronounce his name. I always wonder if I'm saying it wrong. I like him as an actor. He's not an intimidating Khan, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they could have done for somebody a little more...
scary.
Yeah.
Because Khan in the original Star Trek he looked like a freaking caveman, but he was intelligent, and he looked like he had the hands that could rip you in half, but the brains to do it in a way you would never expect. But yeah, I thought it was an alright movie. I've been going to movies under the influence lately, so I think it's been making me really grumpy. It's like, this movie is not very good. Yeah. Put my movie connoisseur monocle on.
Your drunk movie connoisseur monocle.
Yeah, the one beer goggles, but just on one eye.
Oh, imagine beer goggles while you're drunk. Sounds like a bad time waiting to happen.
I'm pretty sure I'd put them on and just just projectile vomit, like immediate, the moment they touch my eyeballs. Oh, that would be horrible. But yeah, I think that's all for what I've been watching. Of course, I've been watching Walking Dead like you, and that's a show. I like to compare that show with Sons of Anarchy, where when it's good, it's really good, but you gotta wait a long fucking time.
Walking Dead started strong, and then it got to it started strong, and it stayed strong, and then it hit this weird lull where zombies are no longer scary.
Yeah.
Like, they desensitized the audience to zombies. So they implemented, well, there's a town of humans that are doing weird things, or there's humans here and there that you gotta watch out for. And then there's a horde of zombies that you gotta watch out for. It's like, okay, we get it. And then it took kind of like this instead of TV show movie role when they got to the prison and everything started to like develop. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything for the latest season, but it's starting to pick up again to where it's getting out of that lull and getting ready for something a bit bigger than itself, which it really needs to do. Because I just rewatched the first episode because my downstairs neighbor, she'd never seen Walking Dead before, and so I rewatched the first episode with her, and it was better than I remembered it being. It was just like the drive with the actors was amazing. The way that they did the individual zombies and not just the hordes of them was so great. And like the struggle that Rick had to get through just in the first episode, it was amazing. And now it's just it's kind of flat.
I think what they need to do, something that they should do with most TV shows, take the amount of episodes they think is a good idea and cut that in half. Because they're doing nothing for all those episodes. The reason why season 1 was so good, in my opinion, was because it was so short. What was it, like 6 episodes or something like that?
I don't remember. I do remember it being pretty short, though.
And then 2 came along, and I just wanted to die. Oh, God, nothing happened. It was like 3 meaningful episodes in season 2. And the rest are like, let's wander around on this farm.
The prison, the farm, they kind of stagnate at places, but at the same time, that kind of makes the story, unfortunately, it kind of makes the story whole, because you need some time to build up to something. If action is always, then you're just gonna...
Well, I don't have a problem with story development. I just don't think that existed in season 2. I think the season 3 was far better than season 2, and they fired a whole bunch of writers after season 2 because it was such a damn train wreck.
Season 3 was better.
I, like you, am waiting to see where they're going to go with it. I'm hoping that the needle's going to go up in a big way, because I'm starting to lose my patience.
Right.
Because I like storytelling, but there's only, like that last episode, the last episode we saw, where I'm not going to go into detail, and the governor's just like moving real slow and not talking much. And I wonder if they said, this will be a great opportunity for us to pad this episode out, guys. And everyone's literally walking slow. Like, and I'm just like, faster. Move faster.
The same thing happened with, I mean, putting it in perspective, the same thing happened with the first episode with Rick. I mean,
but that was before I saw 4 seasons of Walking Dead.
Sure, yeah, we're now sitting through just a bunch of trash, but like, I don't know, I'm
that first episode was amazing. By the way, that pilot.
Yeah, the pilot episode was so good.
Even though it did remind me a lot of
Resident Evil?
28 Days Later.
Oh, 28 Days. Yeah, that too.
Danny Boyle.
What was it, the second Resident Evil movie, when she wakes up in another hospital?
You know, I haven't watched any of the Resident Evil movies, believe it or not.
From what I remember...
You don't want to embarrass yourself and say, they were fantastic, and go back and watch them and go, oh.
No, I thought the first one was okay, and then I thought the rest of them just fell off. I don't know.
It's actually a wonder they've made so many of them.
It sells. People go see movies.
Zombies sell, yeah. I think a lot of people watch them that don't even play the games, too. So it's one of those things that kind of speaks to a large audience, even though I've seen scenes from some of the newer ones, and it's like, this is pretty funny in a really ironic way. Like with the low budget that they're kind of going for in the new ones.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've seen 3 of them total. And it's just not...
I should see the first one, because everyone says it's pretty good.
Yeah.
That silence worries me.
I don't know. I'm just thinking back on them, and like, the more that I think about it, the worse they become in my mind.
It's like PTSD. You start focusing on it, and all this panic rises up.
Yeah, it started out with the first one being above average, and now I'm just thinking about like all of its flaws, and it's just starting to become less and less in my mind.
Right.
To just stop while I'm ahead.
I say just skip Resident Evil and watch those Silent Hill movies, and you're good to go.
Silent Hill movies I thought were worse than Resident Evil.
What? No.
Yeah, I hated them.
They were actually loyal to the games. Did you like the Silent Hill games?
I never played them.
Well then,
or
that says a lot.
Yeah, I'm not the man to talk to for that.
Silent Hill 2 is really good. 1 through 3 were great games, and then Americans came along. Damn Whitey got a hold of it and ruined it.
Do you know anything about the Fatal Frame games?
I do. I know they play like shit, but they're really scary.
Probably one of the reasons why they are scary is because you control the character.
It's Japanese. okay, for starters. So the horrible character movement and camera angles, it's very much like Resident Evil with those old games where the controlling the camera and the character was kind of work, and not knowing where the fuck you're supposed to go and all that stuff. But the ghost part, like taking pictures of ghosts, it's legitimately scary. Like, in games don't scare me. There's one ghost that has a broken neck. The person hung itself.
Ooh. And
so as the ghost comes at you, it's floating at you on its back, but its head is like completely, it's leaned all the way back. So imagine if someone were, I don't know, like laying on the edge of a bed with their head facing you. It's kind of what it's doing, but it's a little more upright. So anyway, hard to explain, but the ghosts in that game are fucking scary.
I gotcha. I have quite a few friends that just in love with the series. Again, I'm not a horror person, both in movies and games, so I just not my thing.
Well, Silent Hill, I don't think was ever that scary, but it's still a good game. Just like most horror, it's not that scary, but the themes and the storytelling and everything is what makes it good, set in this morbid atmosphere. Scary does not always make better, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's true.
But at any rate, we will move forward. I was going to have a what we're reading section, but I don't know if we've read. Do we read? Do you read?
I have read my college textbooks.
Yay.
Yeah, that's about as far as I've gotten. I do have a book that I want to read, which is actually Mog World by Yahtzee Croshaw. The guy that does Zero Punctuation.
Oh, okay.
He wrote this book, and it reminds, like, I've read like the first chapter, and it like really reminds me of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, except in a fantasy universe instead of a sci-fi.
Okay.
And so it's really intriguing me, but I just, oh man, college textbooks.
Yeah. Yeah. I did school. I took a couple classes, and I saw all the money it was, and I was like, man, I need to figure out what I'm going to do before I keep taking all these classes. And then work got in the way, and I never went back.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm not going to go on and on and on about it, but I have a book that I read a page of every now and again called Last Words of Notable People. And it's like an encyclopedia of famous people's, either their dying words or their last recorded words when they were last seen. It's really fascinating, and it's fucking huge. It's a big book.
Is it like Game of Thrones series book?
No, this is a
big.
It's just one book. So
okay.
Yeah, it looks like a Bible. It's so thick.
So like Lord of the Rings big.
Yeah, and it's a tall book. It's like a foot tall. So it's a big hardcover book.
Jesus.
Yeah, but it's all dying people's last words. So it's really fascinating if you're curious about what's going through people's minds right before the lights go out. It sounds really morbid to say it like that, but
I'm sure some of the quotes in there are pretty morbid, but overall it could be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I love it. Don't read it enough. All right, well, let's move on to a little bit of news. There's not much here to talk about, so this is going to be quick and painless. First and foremost, in my mind, is John Carmack leaving id Software. He was the graphic designer for all of id's engines, as far as I know. I'm a big Doom fan and pretty big Quake fan. And I think that a lot of us saw this coming as he did more and more work with Oculus
Yes.
on the Rift.
Can't wait for the Oculus Rift.
Yeah, and when I first heard about that thing, and before it had all the support, I was like, this thing is not going to get off the ground. But more and more people like John Carmack getting involved has really made me say, this thing is probably going to happen, and it's really hard to believe. Not to say I'm not saying that's not going to happen, but you know how many of these things have showed up in the past.
It's true. It's true.
So, yeah, still kind of sad to see him leave id, but, I mean...
I'm sure he can always go back when Oculus is done, too.
You know what? On one hand, he is what made id what it was, but I think id really needs new blood.
Yeah, I can see that.
Rage, in my opinion, was not a world-class game.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I liked the shooting in Rage, but having to go back to that stupid hub world just was the biggest pain in the ass. Games that shoehorn a hub world in because everybody else is doing it, not a good idea.
I really didn't like Rage. I felt really bad, too, because my girlfriend ended up buying it for me for my birthday present.
I hate that.
It just... She every once in a while... She usually doesn't know what to get me, and so this particular thing, I had expressed a little interest in it. So every once in a while, she'll be like, "Oh, well, how did you like the game that I got you? Did you like it?" And I'm always yeah, I totally no.
I hate that. It's only the gifts that are bad games.
Right?
You know how many gifts I've gotten from games that were bad in proportion to games I paid for? It's weird.
Probably quite a few.
Mm-hmm. That happened to me with Beautiful Joe on the GameCube.
You didn't like Beautiful Joe?
I liked it in the beginning where it felt like a side-scrolling beat-em-up, but the further you got into the game, I can't really describe it, but it started to turn into something else. It wasn't quite as much of a beat-em-up as you got all the different moves and stuff. I just kind of lost interest. I got pulled away the further I got into that game.
I didn't get too far into it.
It fizzled out.
The experience that I had with Beautiful Joe was I would go over to my friend's house. I believe this was in middle school or high school, something like that. And we'd go over there, and every once in a while I'd play Beautiful Joe or something, one of those other games. And Beautiful Joe, like, it started off really neat, but I never really got into it. But my take on it was it turned into like something like Donkey Kong into something like Kirby just fighting bosses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I felt like they kind of ran out of ideas about halfway through the game, and it turned into something that did not hold my attention.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious to see what Beautiful Joe 2 is like.
I think I maybe played it. I don't remember.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, too, because if I remember correctly, I believe the developers put a bit of emphasis on that game, like actually tried.
I think it was successful. Like, a lot of people liked it, and it got good scores, I think. But I don't always agree with everyone. Like, going back to my Gravity thing, you know, that everyone said that was great, and I'm like, meh, not so good. So, but yeah. Anyway, so John Carmack, kind of a big deal, him leaving, but I think it sort of needs this. He said he wanted to stick around, but it just didn't work out, probably because he was just way too busy, my guess is.
Yeah, that would be really hard.
Yeah. But I think he finished his work on id Tech 5 or whatever the new engine is, and apparently that's what Doom 4 is supposed to run on. Not Doom 4, I don't know what the fuck's happening with that. But, because it's been totally rebooted, I guess, a while back, and I worry for games that spend that long in development.
To nuke them forever.
Oh, that's what my brother said when we had this conversation.
Forever.
Yeah, and what was that? Two Worlds was bad, but also what was that Xbox 360 launch game that was really bad that everyone said was going to be fantastic?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. Twitch removes Playrooms from Stream Directory. I guess a couple people got drunk and a lady got naked and passed out, and Twitch said, "Hey, you're banned and this is going away. You guys don't deserve it." They didn't.
That's pretty good.
They didn't say it like that, but
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it makes me think. How can you bring that back? And you can't bring it back and then police every single stream that they have. There's not enough people on Earth. Well, there is, but I'm exaggerating for effect. I don't know unless they implement boob and dick detection in their camera. And then have a kill, it hits a kill switch every time and says, "Oh, there's 2 circles in this thing."
These particular types of circles.
Your eyes are shaped a certain way, so it kills it.
Right.
All the whiteys, the game is shut down.
No, I'm kind of curious because if they're that eager to shut it down due to this was 1-2 abuses.
From what I heard, there was a lot of non-game related content on there, and they wanted to keep it focused, and this was kind of the big thing that set it over the top. So, I don't think a lot of the other content was inappropriate, but it just wasn't.
Wasn't related.
Yeah, I think they want their website to be focused, and they want people when they go there to know what it is. Because if you run it too thin, then people won't keep coming back. So yeah, I don't know. The sad thing is people say it's one of the better features of the PS4. So don't know what's going to happen to that.
That is unfortunate.
I know. I will continue to play on my PC.
You gotta think about the marketers for that, or the developers and the marketers. Oh yeah, we're gonna create this feature. And then try to implement it, and in the implementation phase, it just gets axed by somebody that's not even part of the company.
Yeah, for the people that figure, how will this game fit into a streaming webcam ecosystem? I don't know.
Twitch really smacked Sony around for that one.
Yeah, and it's who do you blame? It's not like they can't exactly go to Sony and say, "Hey, tell these people to stop getting naked."
Do it.
Yeah. That'd be pretty good, though.
And we have another user agreement.
Yes. No getting it. Anytime you get dressed in your own home, the PS3 is exterminate, and then, comes on. Oh, no. It's
oh, my God. You just reminded me.
Odyssey.
Doctor Who 50th anniversary.
Huh?
So good. Do you watch Doctor Who?
My brother watches Doctor Who a lot. I've never seen Doctor Who.
You need to watch some Doctor Who.
I do like that epic rap battle, though.
That was pretty good. Can't believe I forgot about that. But yes, watch some Doctor Who and enjoy the 50th anniversary, because it is pretty much the most amazing thing that's come out in the last, I don't know, however many months.
People really like that show.
It's the actors seem like they actually care about the show.
Mm-hmm. Something I noticed about British TV, they don't produce a lot of it. They usually take their time, but when it comes out, it's pretty well implemented and well done. Like Sherlock.
That's going to be happening next December. I have a chunk of time set aside to watch all of it in one sitting.
I can't wait for Sherlock. That show is it's so much better than those Robert Downey Jr. movies.
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay, I don't want to keep going on and on about this, but those Robert Downey Jr. movies, I feel like if they took everything, the cinematography and the fight choreography and the acting and everything, and just didn't do a Sherlock Holmes movie, because that's the part that ruins it, because the mystery part is not selling the movie, in my opinion.
Have you seen, last tangent, I swear, have you seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
No, but I've heard of it.
Think, like, it's it's not quite what you were describing there, but it's similar to Sherlock Holmes without Sherlock.
Okay.
It's pretty good. And it has Robert Downey Jr. in it, and he does a great job.
Okay. I do like Robert Downey Jr., so maybe I'll put that on my list.
I would definitely recommend. Getting back on point.
So yeah, I guess that brings us to a close. If you want to, this would normally be the point of the show where we would take emails, but no one knows we exist. So
no one.
If you want to send an email, Vmail. I said Vmail.
I thought you were about to say female.
No. This is a video game show. There are no females listening.
Fair enough.
I was being sarcastic. Please email at videogabe0083@gmail.com. That is videogabe0083@gmail.com. And we will read the emails on the show. And given our options, we probably won't be very picky. So, yeah. We don't know how often we'll be doing this show. Hopefully at least bi-weekly, but we're just playing it by ear here. So, yeah.
Send us comments. Tell us what you liked, if you liked us. And if you want more, then we'll definitely do more.
Indeed we will. All right. Well, I guess that's a show.
All right. Do I get to say it?
What are we saying?
That's a wrap.
Indeed it is.